Hey,
Hi.
everybody. We are so glad to be back. I am Jess.
I'm Shasta.
And we are the Chicks in Charge. We are so glad to be back after the holidays. We took a quick hiatus with a lot of travel and all of the holidays that we had. It was a lot of chaos. So we're glad to be back. And with us, we have David Lowitz with TradePending. I'll bring him on stage now. Welcome, David.
Hello, ladies. How are you?
We are great. How are you? How was your new year?
So far, it's been a good year. We're 3 days in, and nothing bad's happened yet. So yeah, that's a good start. We'll take that.
We're going to start 2024 off optimistic and full of positivity.
Yes. Well, did you guys have a good New Year's Eve as well?
I did.
I didn't do Jack Taco. I watched TV with the kids and we just waited every minute until midnight because, let's be honest, it's not easy to stay up that late anymore.
I didn't stay up till midnight. I went out. We got a babysitter for the kids. My husband and I did, and we actually got to go out. We don't go out very often, but we were only out until about 10 and we came home and went to bed.
That's doing it right. That's doing New Year's Eve right. I watched a very disappointing football game involving my Cincinnati Bengals and someone's Kansas City Chiefs, who kind of took it to us a little bit there, but yeah. Is that your magic watch? Your magic Chiefs watch?
Or lucky watch.
It's special.
I normally have on way more Chiefs gear than this, but
I know you do. Yeah.
I try to sometimes settle it down for the podcast.
You got like the headbands and the Chiefs pajamas and all the rest of that stuff going on.
I have a problem.
It's too much.
When we do Spirit Week, everybody around us is so surprised, and I'm like, why? Why are you still surprised by what she shows up in? I'm never surprised.
I got left out of 2 of the Spirit Week pictures this last time. So we did a Christmas one. So Monday was
second.
I don't remember.
Oh God, Monday was something. So we had
Monday was pajama day because normally pajama day is Friday and I didn't do it.
So pajama day. So I had my Chiefs onesie.
Yep.
Tuesday was God bless. I found a way to incorporate Chiefs and everything. So there was a flannel
day or Grinch day or whatever it was that you should have done.
You've done it all. You've already won for supporter of the year. They're giving you the award. It's coming in next week.
Yes. I need a call from the Chiefs for a formal invitation. So
gotcha. All right. Well.
So we've spent 2.5 minutes just having fun. But for anybody who may be listening who doesn't know who you are, what you do, who are you and what do you do?
I'm a car guy. No, who am I? I'm David Lowitz. I have been with TradePending now for about 4 years. Grew up in the car business. My very, very first job, I was 5 years old. I went to work with my dad. He said, all right, get out of my hair. Basically, he gave me a cup. He said, run around the lot. I will give you a penny for every license plate screw you pick up. That was my first job in automotive. And it's been in my blood ever since. But unfortunately, I waited till I was about 50 years old, just about 5-6 years ago, to get into the business. And yeah, but here I am, and I love working for TradePending. I've been here 4 years now, working with close to 500 dealers throughout the United States and Canada. Yeah, I know that's a lot. It's fun, and I love making them happy. I love helping them make money, helping them do better with their business.
Are you personally hands-on with all 500, or is that what TradePending has under their belt?
No. TradePending has about 5,000 dealers that we're working with right now. I personally have about 500 under contract with me right now. I shouldn't say under contract, that have signed with me, because month-to-month contracts, they can leave anytime they want, but they don't. They stick around with us for a while. So yeah, I'm close to 500. I'm at like 470 something right now.
Wow, that's awesome. You're busy.
It does keep me busy. And yes, I do try to keep in touch with them as often as I can, but it's like, I feel like the guy at the circus spinning the plates.
Yeah.
And then you come back to that first one, but I'm proud to say that the very first dealer that I signed, Acura of Pembroke Pines, signed them 4 years ago, and they're still with me today.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, you never forget your first.
So what did you do before you came to TradePending?
Before I was at TradePending, I was actually the marketing director of a 9-store group down here in South Florida.
Okay.
So Chevy points, Ford points, Mazda, and then we had some truck points, heavy duty trucks, which that's a whole nother world, the truck world outside of the automotive world. But yeah, so I was doing that and really enjoyed the time there because I got to meet every single vendor. I got to meet everyone out there, anyone pitching anything. I had an open door policy. And as long as I wasn't in a meeting on a Zoom call, if someone came into the office, they were welcome to come in and we'd sit down and, I wanted to learn more about their products. And go figure, but TradePending knocked on my door one day and sold me their product.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and it was
cool how that came full circle for you.
What's that?
That's awesome how that came full circle for you.
Well, my rep, who is now my boss today, called me up one day. He says, hey, Lowitz, I know you love our product. And I know you like to sell because I've been in sales my entire career, other than that time that I was the the marketing director there with that group. He says, but I'm getting promoted, and that's going to open up the Florida territory. Do you? And I said, yes. He didn't even have to finish the question. I was ready to jump in because I knew I had seen all of TradePending's competitors, and I knew that I was going to a company that was going to be best in breed, and I could walk into any store in the country that didn't have these products, and I could help them. So,
what was that transition like for you going from dealer to vendor?
it was wonderful. I loved working on the dealer side, but like I said, I've been got out of college in 1990. I've been in sales for 33 years, and I just much prefer the selling aspect as opposed to the buying aspect.
Right.
So going back to the sales side of things, to me, was a very natural fit, and it was I feel much more at home on this side of the fence than I do on the other side.
So that 9-store group that you worked at, are they still a client of TradePending?
Yes, 2 of the stores are. There's
Nice.
4 or 5 of the stores were truck stores, but the 2 Chevy stores, yeah, and actually 3 of them, and the Mazda store too.
Nice.
Today, so yeah, still
That's impressive. I love that.
yeah,
Well,
it's good
fun
time.
because TradePending is how you and I met. So when we had one of the bigger stores down in Florida, you were the rep for them, and just called until you found somebody who would answer the phone, because the GM didn't like to do that.
Correct.
And that was one of the stores that we were handling full BDC operations for at the time, and you had some really great ideas, and I said, yeah, let's do it, let's implement them, and we changed things so dramatically for that store.
We were pushing close to a 4% conversion rate, and I don't know what your lead to appointment set rate was at the time, but I know you were crushing it. Yeah, but that site, we're not going to mention the name of the site, right? Or no, leave that alone. Okay, that's fine. That site, though, yeah, I was very proud to have that thing humming. All the CTAs were just right. Everything was right where it belonged. Everything did exactly what the consumer thought it was going to do when they clicked that particular button or clicked on that link. And like I said, yeah, 3.5 to 4% conversion rates. That was amazing. That was
Right.
And that integration that you guys got when you guys bought out Auto APR, I mean, it is such a seamless piece that so many of our stores still use. We get to see that in action every day. And I go to a website that has Edmunds or KBB, and I'm just like, why?
Exactly. I mean, I'll tell you what, when I say we, the folks at TradePending that have been going around making these acquisitions, you can tell that they're being so purposeful in the companies that they are looking at to buy, because it's like we were the coffee, then we bought the cream with Auto APR, then we bought the donut when we got SnapCell, and then we bought the stir sticks when we got Fixed Ops Digital. Everything works together.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they've taken the Auto APR product, which is now known as Payments, by the way, Payments,
Nice.
and the way they've taken the TradePending product, our trade tool, and have now made them so that everything works together, and one flows into the other, and this one flows that way, and you can do everything you want as the consumer under one umbrella, basically. One look and feel, one set of buttons, one set of kind of questions, and everything just flows. And you've gone and you've done 3 or 4 actions. You've calculated your payment, you've scheduled a test drive, you've gotten yourself pre-qualified all at once, and you didn't even realize that you were doing all 3 of those things. It was just so seamless.
Yeah.
And that's actually our number one, or my personal number one thing to sell right now, is the combination of trade and Auto APR, just because
it's seamless. And it's stupid because so many dealers are already doing those things, but they're doing it with 4 different vendors, and you don't have to do that. You don't have to pay 4 different bills to get the service.
Right.
Not only that, but by combining everything, you're giving your consumers, your shoppers, a much better experience. I mean, imagine if someone walked into your showroom and they had to go over here to do one thing, and then they had to go over there to do something different. You sit them down at one desk in front of one person, and you're able to take care of everything with our platform now. And I love using the word platform, because when I started at TradePending, I was running around saying, hi, I've got a trade tool. That was it. A trade tool, period. And we've just grown so far. And like you said, just everything is working together. And it makes for better conversions. It makes for better shopping experience. And there's no other place in automotive I'd rather be right now.
Right.
I love that.
Worked out well. Yeah.
So 2023 was a big year for TradePending. What do you think the one biggest highlight and takeaway was for you guys in 2023?
It has to be the 2 acquisitions. It has to be the 2 acquisitions. Buying SnapCell. I'm not sure how familiar you are, but with SnapCell, but clearly the leading video platform for automotive. Not even going to name the other competitors, because there's only a handful and they don't matter anyhow, because when you stack up the list of features and benefits, you need 3 pages for SnapCell. So SnapSell was huge. That was just a great acquisition. And then to watch our development team and our product team start to take all those tools from TradePending and all those auto APR tools and then build them into the SnapSell platform. So now 1 + 1 = 3. And if you're using this and you're using that, wow, you're covered. You're set.
Yep.
And you don't even have to look anywhere else. I mean, SnapSell even has a chat tool built in. So that was huge. And then the acquisition of Fixed Ops Digital. So now, I mean, just speaking for me personally, when I go into a store and I meet with the GM or I meet with his sales team, and now I'm done, I can say, hey, by the way, who's your service director? I've got another piece for him. Yep. And to be able to walk back there, and we literally now are going from conversion to just those conversations and helping dealers have better conversations all the way through to retention now, and making sure that those sales customers are becoming service customers and then are staying in that cycle. So it's
I mean, your guys' team was so smart in those acquisitions, and I mean, we talked about it at that conference in Vegas, but Owen is so phenomenal what he's done with Fixed Ops Digital.
Fantastic.
It just exploded. So I mean, even that was such a great acquisition, and going to be such a powerhouse for TradePending. I mean, just a real tool for the entire dealership.
Correct. And Fixed Ops Digital it's one of those things. It's probably the easiest thing for a salesperson to sell to a dealer, because the dealer's going to end up buying it himself. I don't have to sell it. Once the dealer sees it and he sees this is your current page, your service page, let's say, with all of your different service specials, and most dealers have stuff on there from like 3 years ago, or they've got nothing at all. It's just a blank page. And then you show them what a page with Fixed Ops Digital looks like, and the benefits of what this tool can do and how it just streamlines everything. How much is it? Oh, $4.99, $5.99. It's like,
no brainer.
Sign me up. Send me the contract. Yeah.
So I don't know if you know this, but my B2B team actually helped Owen with Fixed Ops Digital before the acquisition. And I'm telling you, that team killed it. I mean, that team kills it on with all of our clients, but Fixed Ops Digital was consistently our highest performing account. And I have no doubt it was because of the product that they're offering.
Oh yeah. It's
needed.
Perfect. It's simple. It's easy. It's effective. And there ain't a whole lot else like it out there.
No, there's not.
In the trade space, I'm up against, 112 different competitors. Not that there's 112 worthy competitors, but there's a bunch of them out there. But on the Fixed Ops Digital side, they're just really not a whole lot of other companies doing what FOD is doing.
Well, I feel like it's so funny to me because the service department generates so much of the money in a dealership, and I feel like it's always on the back burner when it comes to marketing. It gets the littlest bit of attention in comparison to everything else, and it shouldn't.
Correct.
That's like independent stores too. I mean, we learned from going to NIADA this year just how underserved the independent market is, because we didn't see all of our friends at that conference. I mean, you didn't even know about it until we had talked about it. You're like, oh, what's this? And you went and got to see how much of that market was underserved. We didn't see the big names there that we always see at the other conferences.
Yeah, it was kind of nice being there without all those other big names in the room.
And I'll tell you, what we learned was that those independent dealers they're so much more personable. They want to have those conversations. They're looking for those solutions, and you don't have to chase them.
Correct. I also enjoyed the fact that when you were talking to someone, more often than not, you were speaking to a dealer principal.
Yes, you were.
So that, kudos to the folks at NIADA. Hell of a show and hell of a job getting the right people, the right decision makers, and people, like you said, who care and who want to know and who want to be involved, and they want to have those conversations. So we really enjoyed that show. That was good.
Yeah. What would you say, speaking of shows, when you meet with dealers, whether it's in person or over the phone, when you have that first initial conversation with them, what question do you think you probably get more often than not?
That's a great question to ask, Shasta. And I'm going to give you a backwards answer because it's a what question am I asking?
Okay.
Because every situation is different. And I think the biggest thing that's out there, though, I mean, if you had to really break it down, people hear the name TradePending. Hey, it's David from TradePending. Oh, the trade tool. The trade tool. Oh, you guys are the trade tool. We're good. We're set. We already have you guys. Yeah, I understand. But so I think that's really the biggest question, or the biggest most misconstrued item is that people, when they think of TradePending, they still think we're just a trade tool.
Right.
So, and like, as we've been discussing for these first 10 or 15 minutes here, clearly we're not just a trade tool anymore, and just getting people to realize that we're more than just one product is the big thing.
Do you see that there will be a rebrand to help fix that?
You would have to ask the people at a much higher pay grade than me.
God is you.
I can tell you it was very interesting to watch Spin Car because I was a Spin Car client.
Okay.
I thought it was very interesting when they rebranded because they weren't just spinning cars anymore. They were doing so much else. And for them to go from Spin Car to Impel, I think that was a great move for them. Is there a move like that in the works for TradePending? That is something that, like I said, my chief marketing officer, my CEO, that's discussions for them. I'll just go out and keep selling whatever name they put on the shirt here and whatever name they put on the products. I'll just keep out there and keep presenting it to my dealers.
So David, if you had psychic powers, what do you think that? Oh, you do.
Yeah. Well,
okay. So what does 2024 have in store for you?
For me personally, or for the automotive industry? What are we talking here?
Both. Anything
for you.
And the automotive industry and TradePending.
Okay, so for me personally, I see this as a year for me to go back and spin those plates again. Really go back to those 500 dealers that I'm currently working with, and make 24 a transition and growth year. Okay, listen, here's where you are. You've been with us for a couple of years. You've been using this product. Here's how you can benefit from adding these on as well. And again, not to go in there and just jam product down people's throats, because that's not what I'm about and that's not what I do. And I'm very, very proud to point to this little trophy. These guys are right up there because those are for the lowest cancellation rates in the company in the last couple of years, okay? So I take a lot of pride in making sure that when I bring a dealer on board, that they are taken care of, that everything is going to be set up exactly the way it should be for them to maximize and hit their goals. I mean, maximize their efforts and hit their goals. But as far as 24 goes, I want to be able to go back to those clients and say, okay, we fixed this problem for you. What else hurts? Where else are you having problems? Where else are you having difficulties? Or if they're not aware of what's even hurting them, show them what's on their website. Show them, hey, I came into your store. I pretended to be a customer. I walked around for 15 minutes. No one came over and approached me. Or I submitted a mystery shopping lead to your store, and here's what happened. It took 24 hours for someone to call me, and when they did, it was a half-assed email or a half-baked phone call. Yep. Most dealers, if you want to have a really bad day, go call your own dealership and submit a lead. Unless, of course, they're working with Commercial Time, Epic BDC, and in which case they're going to have a phenomenal experience. Right. But you guys know what it's like. That's why you're in business today, because so many dealers, and listen, there's so many out there doing it right. I'm not going to take anything away from those that are doing it right, but there is a vast majority of them that are, wow, we got all these leads and we couldn't turn them into appointments or couldn't turn them into sales. Well, it's not that the leads were bad, okay? Because I'm sending the same type of leads to other stores and they're killing them.
I'll tell you, there's no bad lead source.
What's that?
There's no bad lead source. There's people who don't understand the lead source and therefore don't know how to work it. There's no lead source. Leads are leads.
How many times do you want to look at a dealer and say, read the lead? Read the lead. Why did they come to your website and click something? What information were they trying to get? Give it to them. Yep. Give it to them. Yeah. If they want to know the value of their trade, talk to them about their trade. You don't have to spot them on another car right this second. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me.
I'm right there with you. I can't stand when we're prospecting a store, even when it happens to us too, when we get some newer agents that they see a trade lead and they go in with, hey, you were shopping for a vehicle with us. No, they weren't.
No. Read the damn lead. Yeah. So 24 is going to be a year of going back and helping those dealers that we've already started to help them grow more. I know a lot of dealers are nervous right now looking at 24. What's going to happen with the economy? Are people still upside down? Are interest rates going to come down? Are they going to get the inventory back that they had before? What's going to happen with this year? What are the reports? What are all the prognosticators saying, right? The ones that really do have ESPN. I had a friend who knew the start of all the sports games, scores of all the sports games before they even started. He had ESPN. Never mind. So yes, it's going to be time to go back and help those dealers do more.
Well, I got to say, I think 2024 is honestly going to be exciting. We had on the vendor side, we had so many dealerships in the last 3 years who honestly thought they had their shit figured out because the market just wanted to buy and spend money because they had all the money. So why not spend it? And now we're back to where we were before. And everybody has this conversation of we're back in pre-COVID times now, that dealers need vendors to become partners and therefore move forward together to be the most productive. And I heard a conversation, maybe it was on Facebook actually, where a dealer had said, I hate vendors. if I had my choice, I wouldn't do anything with them, or I wouldn't have anything to do with them.
I
It's
saw
like,
a post. I saw a public Facebook post about that.
it's probably the same one.
I hope he's going to build his own website and do his own SEM.
I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, your CRM, the company that provides you the toilet paper you wipe your ash with, like, let's
Yep.
think of all of the things, whoever provides you your computers, your
Mhm.
internet company is a vendor,
Yep.
all of these things. Dealerships are vendors of cars.
Is
Like-
he lighting his own fires in his building to keep the place warm? Because he's
I'm
paying
like-
an electric company, I'm guessing. That's a
I don't
vendor.
think people realize just how much of what you do every day is a vendor. It is a person offering a service that you need to make your business 1% better.
Correct. And I hate to be one of those semantics or grammar police, but I'm going to stay away from the word vendor. And I do prefer dealer partner, because when I think the word vendor, I think of a vending machine. You walk up to it, you put some money in, you get a product out, but try getting some service on that product, right? No, that doesn't happen at a vending machine. So again, I do like the term dealer partners. And man, I like to think of each one of my dealers. I mean, I tell them, look, I work for you now. You've just signed this agreement. I work for you now. You call me up, you text me, you tell me what you need. I'm going to do it for you, whether it has something to do with trade pending or not. David, I need to hire. Great. I'm going to get you Larry Feldman, and he's going to help get people for you, right? Yeah. David, I need an external BDC. No problem. I'm going to call up Epic, and I'm going to let Shasta know to call this dealer. I am whatever I can do to help my dealers any way I can. And if the other people out there that are wearing similar shirts with other names on them aren't doing the same things, then maybe they are just the vendors, and they're not the dealer partners. And again, I'm not saying that anyone is. I'm just saying I try, and I know that the rest of my team, we all try to stay a step above, and just not just be, oh, right. You never want to talk to me again. Great. Sign here. You'll never see me again. And
it shows with your awards, your trophies, that people aren't canceling because, for one, the product does speak for itself, but it takes that one-on-one effort from you to stay up with the continuous using of the product, the understanding of it, and the tweaking of, okay, well, this month this is going on, so we need to tweak this here and here and here.
Well, I mean, we say it all the time with dealerships, Shasta, that, dealerships, they're not in the car business or in the people business, but so are we as dealer partners. We're in the people business, and it's all about those relationships. And it doesn't matter how great of a product you have. If you're not focusing on building those relationships and building on those connections, you're not going to keep your clients happy, and they're not going to stay with you.
Not only that, but show me a static website. Show me a website that never changes and nothing ever breaks, nothing ever gets moved when this gets installed and all of a sudden that falls off. That stuff happens all the time, and there's no one to blame for it. It's not that someone did something wrong. It's just, it's a website. It's a bunch of lines of code, and sometimes stuff breaks. Right? But you've got to make sure that it gets fixed and that it gets taken care of, and you get people back on track. And that's why I love doing our account reviews with our dealers. Just check, whether they want to meet monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly, whatever's good for them. Just sit down, spend 5-10 minutes, 15, whatever it takes. Go over their site, make sure that everything is the way it should be. I always talk about it. If I walked into a store and I threw that on the floor at a store, it's not going to take more than a minute for a manager to walk over and pick that up, because he's not going to want to have that piece of garbage on his showroom floor, right? Look at your websites.
That's your digital showroom.
There you go. And you got pieces of paper all over the place that need to be cleaned up and taken care of. Buttons that are misaligned, fonts that aren't the same, spaces that are different, colors that are off. I mean, there's just things that need to be done all the time. And that's the kind of stuff I love helping my dealers do. Just all the way down to little stuff.
So, David, there's been a lot of gloom and doom talk for how the market's going in 2024. And I'm just curious what your take is on how automotive is going to be affected in the next year.
Well, I don't have ESP on this one, but what I can tell you, and I'm going to quote good old David Long from the Hansel Automotive Group. What am I going to say? We make our own economies.
Exactly.
And those dealers that are prepared, those dealers that roll up their sleeves, those dealer partners, if you don't get off your ass and go to work every day, you're going to get left behind. You're going to have a crappy 2024. But if you simply stick to the basics, block and tackle, call your clients, call them back, return emails before the end of the day. If you do the work that's supposed to be done, that puts you miles ahead of most of the people that are half-assing it. So make your own economy, decide what kind of day you're going to have. If you decide you want to go out and bring on 3 new clients today, go do it. And if you decide not to, well, then you're not going to have 3 new clients today. And if you want to sell 10 cars today, then go sell them. So I know that's a very simplistic view, but
I think it's the perfect answer.
get off your ass, get your head in the game, and decide that you're going to, listen, we can all show up at work and kind of get through the day. Just get till 5 o'clock. If there was a 5 o'clock, I don't know any one of us that works 9 to 5 anymore, but we could all get up and do that. Or we could get up and say, look, I'm going to be as good as I can possibly be today.
Yep.
Right. And no one's perfect. No one can, except Aaron Sheeks. Aaron is always on.
I know.
Aaron is still working right now. Even when he's sleeping, he's working. Okay.
Oh, I wish we were live. I would tag.
At least that's what I see on Facebook. Okay. I don't have time to do all those Facebook posts because I'm busy taking care of my clients. Not a shot at Aaron. I'm just kidding. I love Aaron. But you get what I'm saying. Just get up and just make your own economy and do what you need to do to be where you want to be at the end of the year, the end of the month, the end of the quarter. Set your goals and know what it takes to get there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I preach all day long, and I'm hoping, I've submitted it as a topic. I'm hoping it's something I get to speak on in February at by appointment only. But knowing your data is so, so, so important. Every dealer needs to know their data. They cannot operate a store if they don't know their numbers. Like,
They don't.
no, like
that's a great point. So let's talk about this. And I'm going to kind of pretend like you're a store, and I'm kind of talking to you about why you want trade and payments, right? So we're on a boat and we're out fishing. We're in the middle of the lake, and on the left side of the boat, we've cast a line that's what was that? What I missed?
Shasta fishing.
Yeah, Shasta's going to go fishing. Okay, right. Kansas City Chiefs fan and all. On the left side of the boat, you've tossed out a line that says value your trade, and you're going to catch those fish over there. Now, on the right side of the boat, you're casting out a line that says calculate your payment. What's my buying power? Get pre-qualified. Schedule a test drive. Is this car available? Right? All of those things, right? So now we're going to catch more fish. I'll have a dealer call me up. David, we've got too many buttons on our website right now. Take off this one and take off that one. And they do it without checking the data first.
Mm-hmm.
I had a dealer the other day, again, who shall remain nameless. Take off the calculate your payment button. Did you realize that that's 86% of your leads? Oh, maybe we ought to leave that on.
Maybe
I would say so. That's like
drives me
Do we
bonkers.
want to talk about the story that happened on Friday?
Oh my God.
Do we want to without name dropping?
Yes, tell that story.
So I actually made a post about it.
Oh,
on
you
Facebook.
did. I forgot about that.
But I received mid-November. I received a cancellation notice for a store. However, we had just changed a big process for them. We had moved from working in our software back into their CRM, and I mean it had been 2 days, if that.
25 appointments the day this happened.
Yes.
We're on the board.
Yeah, at like 5 o'clock. Like we were still rolling for a few more hours.
Yeah.
And he
Okay.
calls me and says, we're probably going to cut this off at the end of this week. And I'm like, no, you're not. You haven't given us enough time. We're already more successful. We've scheduled X amount of appointments today. Our show rate's this. And he's like, okay, let me talk with the boss. I'll call you back. He's the GM. He needed to talk with the owner of the store. Called me back and said, I bought you another month. Cool. We spent all of December just crushing it, killing it. Numbers are up everywhere.
Right.
And I call and check with him at the end of the month. I'm like, hey, we're still good to go to move into January, right? And he's like, yeah, no.
We're going to pull out Saturday.
Yeah, we're pulling out Saturday as our last day. And I'm like, that's dumb. Why would you do that?
Did he look at the data?
No. I tried to tell him. I said, okay, well, our show rates are up this. Our set rate is
He
up
was not
this.
having it.
And he's like, yeah, we're just not seeing it on our end. And I'm like,
How not?
okay, well, I can send you
I'm
all.
sorry, but Stevie Wonder could see that.
Yeah, I'm sending him. I said, I'll send you all the numbers so that you have everything. He's like, BDCs don't work for us. Okay.
So he's going to, did he cancel?
No.
Oh,
So,
well,
story
it
gets
gets better.
So the next day.
Yes, he did. He did go ahead and move forward
Yeah.
with his cancellation notice
So-
within 24 hours.
Yeah, so we prepare with everything that we're going to be done. I fought him. I did all but tell him he was ridiculous. He calls me back 24 hours later and says, I owe you an apology. I need to eat some crow. And I said, okay, do tell. He said, I went to go tell my store managers, they're a 5 rooftop group. He said, I went to go tell my store managers that we would be done with you guys as of Saturday, and I have a full-on coup on my hands. And I'm like, proceed.
Rightfully so.
Proceed. So he then tells me, he's like, you've been drumming up a lot of traffic for them. They say they can't do it without you. So we need to figure out where our numbers aren't matching up. Long story short, we found that there had been salespeople and managers deleting showroom visits to improve their sold rate. There was 81 deleted showroom visits for the month of December. 81.
That you guys set.
Yes. That
And
shows.
they just decided to delete them so that they could make their ratios look better?
Yes.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but us knowing our numbers on our end, knowing for a fact that we had this, even when the CRM did not agree with it, is what backed that up.
Know your data, read your data, pay attention to your data. Data doesn't lie.
Yep.
That's my data song.
I
Just
love
so you
that.
know, we can record it. We can sell it.
At your BDC, can you please check your sales team?
Seriously.
Just do a brief overview real quick.
That is crazy. Well, first of all, congratulations on keeping the account.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
was
It's well deserved.
Not only did we keep them, we got an additional 90-day commitment out of them.
Yeah.
Boom.
So we more than proved that we knew what the heck we were talking about. And that's not bragging on us by any means. There's times where even knowing my data, I'm still at a 30% show rate, or I can't get past a 15% set rate, or, but I will tell you 100% of the time, it takes collaboration with the store, with everybody on the ground to want this thing to work, to make it work.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Not just collaboration with the store, Shasta. Like, think about how many times you've reached out to our friends and partners in the industry, like David, like Echo, and said, hey, we're seeing this number down right now, and I cannot continue to go another week with my stores being this low. What are you seeing? Is this nationwide, or is there something I can do to try to combat this?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Oh, that was last month. We started off last month.
You're always going above and beyond to find out where the issue is, above even just the store level, to the point of your personal connections to try to fix the stores.
Yeah, that was last month. I mean, we started off last month, worst I've ever seen. I mean, it was embarrassing. I had stores calling me left and right, going like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And I'm like, "That's a great question. I would love to tell you. I don't know." So I called everybody I knew, and they were all seeing the same thing. And I'm like, "Bullshit! I'm not going to accept that answer.
Yep.
What are we going to do to change it?" And we spent the entire month of December creating new processes, digging in, hustling, and got it turned around almost double by the end of the month.
December was so bad that we started December at our first managers meeting. We started December with stores at a 0% show rate that we've never, ever, ever seen before. And by the end of December, at the end of December, our stores all averaged 50% or higher. That's how hard.
So let me ask you a question. Here, I generate 100 trade pending leads for a store. How many of those generally are going to turn into an appointment?
My goal is 30. So I work off of industry average BDC standards, because there's nothing that I can't do in my outsourced BDC that an in-store BDC could do. So I put all of our team on the same metrics. So 30% lead to set, 15% lead to show. Lead to sold is going to get messy because prime, subprime, new, used.
You said 15%?
Lead to show.
Oh, lead to show, not
yeah.
15% lead to show. Okay.
Right.
50% set to show.
Right.
Okay.
So we run our team on all of those metrics. We've created our bonuses off those metrics. They have so many metrics they have to hit to even bonus. It's ridiculous that in-store BDCs don't even do. But that is, I believe, the most important part is to constantly treat this like an in-store BDC. And when doing that, I have no reason to be replaced.
Well, you take the same attitude that I do. I work for you. I mean, you genuinely become part of that store. You're just not sitting, you don't have butts in the seats at the store, but they're virtual, but they're doing the same job that they would be doing, probably a better job, actually, because that's all they do all day long is work those leads.
And they're not being bothered by the salespeople walking into the BDC distracting them.
What do you got?
Yeah, right?
My favorite part when I was a BDR. Yeah. Oh, God. Well, and I'll tell you,
right?
I mean, some of these stores become family. I mean, the store that you and I met on, I was talking to my husband about it last night, and we haven't had that store for almost a year. I mean, that store comes up in conversation for us all the time.
Yep.
I mean, the relationship that we had built with that store, the managers, the salespeople, I visited that store so many times, just because they were invested in us succeeding, and we were invested in them succeeding.
Those are the best partners always.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just as invested in you succeeding as a company, and as a partner, but just as much as you are invested in their own success.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, that's what makes you guys successful, and that's what helps your stores be successful, by hiring you. So kudos to you guys.
Well, and it's the same with you. I mean, there's not a store I wouldn't recommend you to, because I know that no matter what, you would turn their numbers around.
I mean, whenever I'm talking to dealers just on the sales side and the discovery side of things, when they're telling me what who they're using for their trade service, I'm always, if it's not TradePending, I'm like, how about I shoot you David's phone number?
There are entire advertising agencies that are doing the exact same thing, because think about this. You're the agency, and now all of a sudden you're going to tell the dealer that you want 50 grand a month to drive traffic to the store's website. And these people get to the site and they convert at a crappy conversion percentage. Now the dealer's wondering, well, where am I spending all this money? So now you take that good cheese, put it with a great mousetrap. Now you got a winner and a win. So we make agencies look better, and that just makes them, it just puts them in better light with their clients and with their dealer partners. So
it does. I mean, it takes everything working together. That's I could preach that all day long. Everything has to work together. When you have a BDC, TradePending can be a great service no matter what. If you don't have the right team on the other end handling that, and the right sales team willing to pay attention and work those customers when they come in, it takes everybody.
All right. So I got a winner for you. You ready for this? Because you guys work with all the CRMs across the board, right? Tell me why a prospect goes to a dealer's website. They start off on a Gubagoo chat, and Gubagoo gets a lead from them. And then they click something else on the website to maybe get pre-qualified. And then they click a trade pending value your trade, and they did it in that order. So the Gubagoo thing shows up as the primary lead. The other two either show up as bad or duplicate, right? Yet they were all part of the customer journey. But the CRM only wants to report on first in attribution. And I am not an attribution pig. I'm not one of those people that says, oh, I've got it. No, I want to just be part of the equation. But I would love for the CRMs out there to start reporting the customer journey and not just the first or the last. Yeah. Is there a setting, ladies? Is there something?
No, there needs to be, because I agree with you, because the other side of our company is also social media generated. And we see it all the time that we have a customer that is in the middle of a conversation with our messenger team, goes to the website, puts in a lead, and then by the time we put in the lead, we've already lost attribution for it. So I think what CRMs need to do, if any of you guys are listening, is that there needs to be a raw and a total number. And if at any point, whether it got the attribution or not, a customer sold who had inquired on TradePending in the past 30 days, that needs to be attributed to TradePending and the other sources.
Yes.
All of the sources. And then you can see a raw number of which one had first attribution.
It would be no different than me walking into your store and Jessica starts with the deal and then has to go off for lunch, and then Shasta, you finish the deal and you guys split the deal. Yeah. Right? There should be no reason that when John Smith comes in to buy a car, all of the lead sources that he touched along the way aren't listed there and getting a third. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I have dealers say, oh, David, we got 62 leads from you last month. No, I'm looking at it right here. There were 130.
You just only have 62 that.
Those 70 people, those other 68 people did something else first. But I know that 130 people used that tool and got their trade value. Yeah. They just didn't show up as first in.
Right. Yeah.
So that's one of the things that drives me nuts. And again, if you're a CRM manufacturer out there, Vin, Elite, Socket, we're talking to you. Fix that. Because it's terrible that doesn't get reported on properly.
Yeah. Right.
Well, David, I think it's about time to wrap up. We appreciate you more than you know coming on the show. You were our very first guest of 2024, so we're super excited about that.
I set the bar like this high.
No, you didn't. You set it so high.
Because excited. You told me that when you're going to Vegas, you're going to the Sphere again, and now I'm mad that I'm not going to be there.
Yes, I am going back to the Sphere. Are you? Wait, you're not going back to Vegas?
Not this year.
Boo.
I know. I'm very upset about it.
Yeah.
Well, I've never been to an NADA in Vegas. The first one we went to was Dallas. And then we heard that Vegas is like 10 times that size. And then they told us we're not going, and I'm very sad about it. So if anybody just wants to donate tickets to us, go.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, exactly. So I'll
drive myself. I don't care.
I will FaceTime you from the Sphere or from our booth, one or the other.
Yes. Oh yeah. So you're also going to have a booth.
Yes.
So
let's talk about that. What booth number are you? Do you know yet?
Back of the main hall towards the left.
Okay.
You can't miss us. I think we're like right near the Toyota or something like that. But yeah, we got a bunch of orange stuff and we're easy to spot.
Remember whenever I did that cardboard cutout of you? Whenever you did, we're gonna mail David cardboard cutouts of us just to
Flat Shasta. We got to bring around Flat Shasta and a Flat Jessica.
Yeah, I would say that I would just go there and wait at the door for someone to give me a ticket, but we saw how well that worked out at the other.
Yeah, well, okay. Let's not even go there. So we're not going to talk about that. Ladies, have a wonderful 2024. Thank you all so much for having me on today. I appreciate it.
Right. Hey, if you know anybody or if yourself, I think that it would be very important for you to go. There is a I brought it up earlier, but the by appointment only conference at the end of February
Anthony Algonia
is in New Jersey.
Okay.
It's meant for BC directors, I think we'll have some general managers there, but there's going to be some massive names there that I think that
Glenn Lundy was going, right? Wasn't Glenn Lundy?
No, we got Shaka Dyson, Sean
that was
Armour, Frank Lopes. My God.
There's a lot of big names.
There's some big names alone right there.
Yeah. So, some really big names are going. So I think that that's something that if you could be there, that would be phenomenal.
Send me a link. I'll pass it along.
For sure.
All right.
I personally won't be there, but ladies, thanks again for everything. Have a
Thanks,
great day.
David.
Right, absolutely. See you guys.
All right, guys. So remember, when you go out into the world this week, to be kind. You never know what battle someone else is facing. So remember to light it up. I'm Jess.
I'm Shasta.
And that's David. And we've been the Chicks in Charge. Thanks, everybody.